So welcome to lesson 4. For those of you who are new joining us, the previous lessons should be available for you, or they are on the forum in your cloud port. But this is lesson 4, which comprises of unit 3, organising ideas. In this lesson, we're going to be doing unit 3.1, opening and closing lines. Unit 3.2, topic sentences. Unit 3.3, creating paragraphs. Unit 3.4, connecting paragraphs. Unit 3.5, structuring argument. That was it. Sorry, that was all of them. I thought there were 6. So yeah, we've got a lot to cover today. We've got 5 lessons, which is the entirety of unit 3. So opening lines first. The opening and closing lines of a transactional writing piece are arguably the most important. The opening line is the reader's first contact with the piece, so it needs to grab their attention and draw them into the work. If the opening is bland, the reader may pick another piece or carry on reading yours, but without paying much attention. An opening sentence should be intriguing, with readers wondering what is going to happen, and compelling, with readers desperate to read on. It should also prepare readers for the content and tone that piece will contain, as this will allow them to decide if the piece is interesting to them and whether they are the target audience. An opening line can be obscure, hopefully making a reader want to read on to find out what it is about. Or alternatively, it can be informative, telling them up front what the content is so they know whether to read on or not. So we're going to do a quick exercise now. Hopefully this will be fun. This is the opening line of a famous novel. These are all famous opening lines. You might have heard of them, you might not. So this is just a little bit of fun. So our first opening line is, "It was a bright, cold day in April and the clocks were striking 13. I'm going to try and set the poll up now if I can find it with this view. Apologies. Where's my polls? Aha, here we go. So I'm going to release the poll to you. It'll be multiple choice A, B, or C. Let me launch that. So the sentence again, "It was a bright, cold day in April and the clocks were striking 13. Is that the opening line from Animal Farm? Option A. Option B, George Orwell's 1984. Or option C, John Steinbeck's Of Mice and Men. We've got 3 votes in so far. Thank you very much. 4 votes, 5. We've got 9 in total, apparently. So these votes are anonymous. If you want to take part in the poll, it would be good for a bit of interaction, a bit of fun, but we don't know, and it's not serious, and we do not mind what you vote for. It's just a little bit of fun and a bit of learning for you. So we've got 7 votes in. Do 2 more people want to take part? It was a bright, cold day in April and the clocks were striking 13. Have a go at which one that is. Okay, we've got 7 people answered. I'm going to leave it at that then. And I'll share with you the results. Most of you voted for option B, and you were entirely right. That is George Orwell's 1984. Very famous opening line. Thank you for joining that in with me. Our next one, "Call Me Ishmael." Is that A, Moby Dick, B, The Last of the Mohicans, or C, The Adventures of Huckleberry Finn? Let me relaunch the poll for you. There you go. Call Me Ishmael. Our votes are coming in. Thank you very much. Well done for joining in. Four people, 5 people. Thank you very much. Call Me Ishmael. What's that the opening line of? I'll give you a hint. I've read this book and it's probably my worst book. I thought it was dreadful. So there you go. There's a hint. 6 of you have voted. Does that 7th one want to vote again this time? Okay, I'll end the poll then. 6 people. Call Me Ishmael. And that one, I'll share with you the results. That one is split. 3 people voted for A, 2 for B, and 1 for C. And that was Moby Dick. It was A. So well done, those 3 people. Call Me Ishmael is the opening line of Moby Dick. Dreadful book. Don't bother if you haven't bothered. Let's look at the 3rd and final option. I write this sitting in the kitchen sink. Is that A, The Secret Garden, B, Pride and Prejudice, or C, I Capture the Castle? There you go. You can make your choices now. I write this sitting in the kitchen sink. Another clue. This is one of my favorite books. Much better than Moby Dick. 4 votes. 5. 6 votes. Thank you very much. I can't see what any of you have voted for. I've got no idea who was right and who was wrong. 7. Thank you very much. Okay, 7's our number. I will end the poll and share the results with you. That one was very split as well. We've got 2 answer in The Secret Garden, 2 saying Pride and Prejudice, and 3 of you were absolutely right with I Capture the Castle by Dodie Smith. Well done.
Can I ask for a bonus question?
Yes, you may. Yeah, if I know.
Can anybody type the opening line of Pride and Prejudice?
Oh, please do. Please. I nearly put that one as well. Does anyone know that one?
Anyone know it?
Oh, Robin's given me a fun fact about Moby.
Oh, yeah. I love Moby Dick.
Is that why DJ Moby is called?
Yeah. He's his great nephew.
That's
Moby
amazing.
Dick's a great book. I think it's
dreadful, absolutely dreadful. If you want to hear about how to rig a ship.
Oh, it's pretty good. Anyway, it is a truth, Claire.
Yes, it is a truth.
Universally acknowledged.
That's our Do you know the rest of it?
Yeah, it is a truth universally acknowledged that a man of, what is it, great fortune must be in want of a wife. There you go.
Yeah, there we go. Universally acknowledged. He must
universally acknowledged. Yes, there you go.
Mark says, is that why Moby was also rubbish? Ooh, Mark. Ooh, fighting talk. Mark. Thank you very much for the bonus question, Robin, and I apologise for disagreeing with Moby Dick for you. Right, thank you very much, everyone that joined in the poll. Thank you. You do make it fun and interactive. It's just a bit of fun. There's not going to be a test or anything on that in your exams, just a little bit of fun. But yeah, opening lines can be super memorable, as you can see. So the opening lines, let me just change my view, sorry. I can't see. So what did those 3 opening lines of novels have in common? And why are they 3 of the most famous opening lines in history? Well, to start with, they're all memorable. Something in them stands out and allows you to recall it easily, even when you've forgotten the rest of the book. They're all fairly short too, which may indicate that short, snappy lines work better than long, detailed ones. They are all interesting and intriguing, as none of them give a clear indication what the story will be about, and all leave some element unseen or unexplained. For example, a story which begins, once upon a time there was a man named Ishmael who lived in America and was a sailor, would tell us far more about the character and story than simply call me Ishmael. But which one makes you want to read on? Lastly, they all set the tone. Clock striking 13 tells us this isn't going to be a book about a life we know and live. Somebody writing a book sitting in a kitchen sink makes us immediately think this will be narrated by a child. We are given a unique glimpse into the whole tone of the novel in these opening lines. We're now going to look closely at some opening lines, and I've taken these directly from your course information. You all have this. Firstly, we have the opening line from the article, Explorers or Boys Messing About, Either Way Taxpayers Get the Rescue Bill by Stephen Morris. This article was originally published in The Guardian in 2003 and is about a helicopter duo plucked from a life raft after an Antarctic crash. The opening line is, their last expedition ended in farce when the Russians threatened to send in military planes to intercept them as they tried to cross into Siberia via the icebound Bering Strait. So why is this an effective opening line? Well, firstly, Morris creates some intrigue here by using the pronoun their rather than naming the explorers. To find out who they are, the reader must read on. It also references their last expedition, meaning we're going to be told about their newest expedition in this story. And so to find out more, a reader must keep reading. The choice of the word farce sets the tone for the rest of this opinion piece. By calling them boys in the title and using the word farce here, we can see the author is displeased with them, believes they do not care about the consequences of their actions, and this piece will be showcasing this opinion. We see here also a juxtaposition, which is the placing together of 2 very separate ideas to create contrasting effects. Here we have the image of boys acting childishly, juxtaposed with the reference to military planes. Their near-death experience is juxtaposed with taxpayers footing the bill. This opening sentence sets the scene and allows Morris to move on to the content of the article next, the who, what, when, where, and why, by mentioning the previous adventure that failed, which leads seamlessly into talking about the newest adventure. Due to this being an article, paragraphs must be short but still pack a lot of information in. Therefore, this opening sentence needs to simultaneously get the reader interested in the story and quickly introduce the main elements of the story so that reader can move on to the main body of the text. The second opening line we're going to look at in detail is from an article called "A Picture of Loneliness. You are looking at the last male northern white rhino." This also came from The Guardian, this time in 2015, and was written by Jonathan Jones. The line reads, "What is it like to look at the very last of something?" Jones's opening line isn't as specific as Morris's. Here he instead asks a very broad rhetorical question. We do not yet know with this opening line what this article is about, or that it is about animals, whereas with the previous line, we knew straight away the article was going to be about a failed expedition. Jones then has a different strategy of pulling the readers in with this emotive question, getting them to ask themselves how they would feel and to read on to find out what it is they should be feeling about. This question allows Jones to swiftly move into the body of his argument now that he has the reader's attention, transitioning into explaining what animal we're going to be reading about and hearing his other ideas. Many popular articles begin with an emotive question or by asking the readers to imagine something, and this is a device we also saw in the last lesson that is often used in speeches. This is a type of persuasive writing, as asking what somebody thinks and getting them engaged can be a good way to subtly persuade them that the argument or opinion you're trying to make is valid. Lastly, we have an interesting contrast in this sentence, another juxtaposition. On the one hand, looking at the last of something is very sad, but on the other hand, it can be an exciting experience, like going to the museum to look at the last remaining artifacts of a previous civilization. I don't know if we have Rodri here yet in this lesson. Has Rodri come yet? Is Rodri here?
Nope.
No, he's not. Oh, that's such a shame.
Nobody's stuck in the waiting room yet.
That's such a shame because I'm going to showcase. So Rodri is a student that's been to all of these lessons so far, and CloudLearn also offer one-to-one tuition here, and I tutor Rodri. And there's an activity which you might have seen in your CloudLearn information on this unit, on Unit 3, about opening lines. And one of the activities is to write a speech on racism and give one opening line. And most people give a very long, trying to pack a lot of information into a sentence. It's quite a long, detailed, meandering sentence. So when Rodri handed this one to me, I was really surprised. And I asked him if I could share this with you today, and he did agree. Even though he's not here, I promise you, he did agree. And this was Rodri's opening sentence for a speech on racism. I can't breathe. He's just done a 3-word sentence, but he's packed so much into there. It is so memorable. It's so emotive. We know exactly already what that refers to. We know exactly which story that is. We know who's saying those words originally. We know who Roger is quoting. Not just that, we know the tone of his whole speech or his whole article. We know that he's hugely against racism. We know what side he's going to be on. He's managed to convey everything he wants to say in those 3 words in the opening sentence, which I think is really, really impressive. So I wanted to share this to show it doesn't always have to be a long sentence. You don't have to cram in as much information as you can. It can just be something as simple as "I can't breathe." So yeah, round of applause to Rodri, who's sadly not here to share with his joy. So juxtaposition. We just briefly touched on juxtaposition there, but let's have a look at this in more detail now. A juxtaposition is when 2 contrasting things are placed side by side in order to highlight their differences. So with that in mind, let's have a look at this exercise. So on the left here, there are sentences with the juxtaposition taken out. And the word that creates the juxtaposition, the second idea that contrasts with the first idea, is on the right. So I'm going to run another poll now, when I can find my little poll thing. Options A, B, C, and D. So the first one on the left, the old man had a blank mind. Which one of these juxtaposes in that sentence? Which one of those, if we put it into the sentence, would create a juxtaposition? Is it A, sad, B, young, C, clean, or D, dark? Let me launch this with you. There we go. You should be able to see it now and to vote. So the old man had a blank mind. Which of those creates a juxtaposition? 2 ideas that contrast. 5 votes already. Thank you. Well done. 6 votes. Thank you. I can see what you voted for, but I can't see any names. I don't know who voted for which of these. 7. Thank you so much. Right. 7, I think, was as many as we were going to get, wasn't it? So let me end this and I will share the results with you. Well done. 6 out of 8 of you that voted went for B, young. Yes, you're right. The old man had a young mind. We're contrasting the ideas of old and young. That is a juxtaposition, putting those 2 contrasting ideas together. So well done. The second option here now, the bright moon lit up the blank. Let me relaunch the poll. The bright moon lit up the blank. Is it sad, young, clean or dark? 4 of you straight in. Well done. 5 of you. 6, 7. Does that 8th one want to come forward again? 8. Thank you so much. Well done. 8 of you have gone for, let me share this one. 8 of you have gone for D. D is correct. The bright moon lit up the dark. Yes, the bright and the lit up contrast juxtaposes with the dark. Well done. This is quite a difficult concept, juxtaposition. It's also hard for me to say. So well done. You're grasping this really well. Let's have a look at the 3rd one then. The muddy dog looked out of place in the blank kitchen. Let me relaunch. The sad kitchen, the young kitchen, the clean kitchen, or the dark kitchen? 6 of you. 7, 8. Super. Thank you so much. 9. Thank you very much. Right, let me share this with you. So most of you said C there, and you are right. Well done. The muddy dog looked out of place in the clean kitchen. Yeah, so it's a dirty dog in a clean kitchen. It's the juxtaposition of those 2 ideas. Yeah, well done. And the final one, let's do this as one as well. It should have been the happiest moment of her life, yet strangely she felt blank. What's this one? Oh, this is a very quick one. 7, 8. Well done, everybody. Thank you so much. Let me share with you. Everyone straight in with sad. Yeah, we've juxtaposed the happiest moment of her life and her feeling sad. That is a juxtaposition. Well done. I think you all really got that by the end. Well done. That is a difficult idea, that one. So closing lines. Whereas an opening line draws the reader into the text, the closing line should have a strong impact on the reader that stays with them well beyond their reading experience. There are many ways to achieve this, and we're going to look at 2 now. Firstly, the closing line from the article we just looked at, A Picture of Loneliness, You Are Looking at the Last Male Northern White Rhino by Jonathan Jones. The last line reads, can the better angels of our nature not defeat the impulse to kill? Like his opening line, Jones uses a rhetorical question to conclude his article. This has a lasting effect on the reader, and Jones is hoping they will ponder this question even after finishing his article. By ending the article with another rhetorical question, finishing it as it began, this makes a circular structure and a feeling of resolution in the closure. In the conclusion of an article, you always want to ensure you have answered the question you posed at the start. Therefore, as Jones refers back to the original question here, we are given a kind of symmetry. There is, however, a key difference between the original question and this one, thus widening the reach. The first rhetorical question made us question animals and extinction, but this one here asks about the much larger issue of human nature, showing the wider significance of this article. This closing line we're going to look at now is taken from the speech which we looked at last lesson, which is also in all your learning information. The Danger of a Single Story by Chimamanda Ngozi Adichie. The line reads, I would like to end with this thought, that when we reject the single story, when we realize that there is never a single story about any place, we regain a kind of paradise. Instead of me telling you now the important features of this, I'd like if you could find them for me. I'll name them, the features or devices used, and please let me know where in this closing line you can find these. So Adichie uses one final comment linking back to the title and opening line. Remember, I said it's always important to link back to your title, and she does this here in the closing line. Can anybody either speak out loud, turn your mic on, or write in the chat box if they can spot whereabouts in this final line she links back to the title? Does anyone want to have a go? Oh, Alex has got his hand up. Do you want to unmute?
Yeah, just put single story.
Exactly that. Well done. Yeah, she's written single story twice, actually. She's written single story here to remind you that was what she was talking about originally. I've not gone off track. I'm still talking about the single story to hammer it home. Well done. Yeah, that's brilliant. Good answer. The next one, can anyone tell me where she has used a personal or direct address to the listener or to the reader? In her final closing sentence, she's used a personal direct address. She actually used that all the way through, but she uses it a lot here. Can anyone spot the word that tells you how she's referring to the reader? Tabitha says we. Well done. Yeah, we. So she says here, I would like to end. And then she says that when we reject. So she's including us. It's we. I am telling this speech, but we need to do this, me and you. Yeah, so she's including the listener, or in this case, the reader. Well done. Next one is repetition. Can you give me an example of repetition she uses in this closing line? It's quite a long line. She uses repetition. Can anyone give an example? Feel free to unmute if you want to say. So we've mentioned the single story. She's repeated that. She's repeated it twice here as well. Can anyone spot another repetition she's got here? No, well, she's got that when we reject the single story, when we realize that there is never a single story. She could have just said that when we reject the single story and realize, but she hasn't chosen to do that. She's chosen to say when we twice. She's repeating that when we as a group, me and you, can do something about it. She's repeating the information that she wants to hammer home, that she wants to really get across, which is very, very effective here. And lastly, alliteration. We've done this before. We've covered this. Alliteration is the repetition of the same sounds repeated over and over. Can anyone spot the repetition she's done in this sentence? I'll read it out again. Feel free to shout out if you see it or write it in the chat. I would like to end with this thought that when we reject the single story, when we realize that there is never a single story about any place, we regain a kind of paradise. Can you hear the alliteration? Can you hear that consonant sound being repeated? Don't worry if you can't, I won't pick on anyone. Okay, it's the R sound. When we reject, when we realize, when we regain. She's using alliteration to hammer her points home. Again, she could have used different words here. She could have used synonyms of these words, but she doesn't. She uses ones that begin with R, and they always come after a we. So it's the repetition of we reject, we realize, we regain, and it hammers the piece home. And it's a very, very memorable closing line, which is why it's in your coursework. It's in an awful lot of coursework, this. So thank you very much for those that shouted out or wrote in the chat box. Thank you. Topic sentences is next. Topic sentences aren't complicated and they aren't something you'll ever be tested on, but they are very useful to know as they will help you to write a well-structured essay or piece of transactional writing. Put simply, it's the focus sentence or the sentence which explains to the reader your newest idea and what the paragraph it appears in will be about. A topic sentence is generally the first sentence in a paragraph, but it isn't always. It is used to explain the topic which that particular paragraph explores. It helps to stop overloading your work and the reader with information. And it separates your work into distinct sections. These are the paragraphs taken from the article, Why Lord of the Flies is the Perfect Christmas Gift for 2016 by Matthew Whittle. It was published in The Independent in 2016, and it is in your course information. So this is a paragraph taken directly from the article. I will read it out to you, and I've coloured each sentence in a different colour. Sentence A is purple, sentence B is red, sentence C is blue, and sentence D is green. As I read it out, try and have a think which one is the topic sentence, which one tells you what that paragraph is about, which one sums that paragraph up, and then we'll do a poll at the end and you can vote for which one you thought the topic sentence was, okay? So the racialized language of tribal savagery in the novel quite rightly makes contemporary readers bristle. It marks author William Golding's failure to move beyond a fundamentally Eurocentric and colonialist view of the world. But ultimately, the book's message is that savagery is universal. It is not racially or nationally defined. It encourages us to reflect on how far-right extremism has crept back into mainstream politics throughout Europe and America. Okay, so poll going up now. Which of those four do you think is, sorry, I'm relaunching now, is the topic sentence? Is it A, the purple, B, the red, C, the blue, or green, D? 3 votes, 4 votes, 5 votes, 6 votes. Thank you very much. Well done, everybody. 7 votes. We've got anyone else? Anyone else want to come in? No, are we at 7? That's fine. 7, thank you so much. Okay, I will share with you the results. We had 1 vote for A, we had 3 votes for C, and 3 votes for D. So the one lone person that voted for A was right. The topic sentence is, as it usually is, the first sentence here. So this sentence, the racialized language of tribal savagery. The rest of this paragraph then talks about racial language. So the topic sentence, the one that introduced the idea, was the first one here. Thank you very much for joining in. Next one, similar situation. I'll read it out and have a think which one's a topic sentence. The far right traffics in populist language from national allegiance to legitimate racism. America's so-called alt-right, France's National Front, UKIP and xenophobic leavers in Britain all feed off dissatisfaction. The solution to complex economic and political realities for these groups is as simple as hunting the beast. Jack lives on in Trump, Le Pen, and Farage. So which of those was our topic sentence? Is it the purple one A, the red one B, the blue one C, or the green one D? 3 votes in, thank you very much. 4 votes, 5 votes. Thank you. This is a tricky one. This is a really tricky one. So don't worry if you're not voting or if you're getting it wrong. This is a tricky one. Don't worry. 8 votes in. Thank you so much. Thank you for joining in. Let me share the results with you then. So 4 of you went for A, 2 of you went for B, nobody liked C, and 2 of you went for D. The A voters are right again, the 4 voters, yes, the first one talks about the far right and the populist language, and then the rest of it talks about the populist language. So yes, the first sentence there was our topic sentence, which introduced to us the theme of that paragraph. Last one, I will read it to you again and then share the poll. Sound familiar? That's right, it's the plot of Lord of the Flies, a novel about a group of English boys who survive a plane crash and are marooned on an island in the South Pacific. After a short period of harmony, a power struggle between the 2 leaders, Ralph and Jack, causes the group to split. Jack wins out by promising to hunt and kill a common enemy, the strange phantom living in the jungle, known only as the Beast. It's a successful campaign of fear and division. So which one of those sentences is our topic sentence? Which one of those tells us what that paragraph is about? Is it A, purple, B, red, C, blue, or D, green? 4 votes in, well done. 5 votes, thank you so much. This is a really tricky one. Well done, everybody, for giving this a go. 8, thank you very much. Right, I'll share with you the results. No, I don't want to relaunch it. 1 said A, 6 said B, and 1 said D. The 6 that said B, well done. Yes, this one is a topic sentence. I can see why you thought A because it was the first one again, but the first one is actually just a rhetorical question that doesn't really lead anywhere. It's useful for the sentence, but it doesn't tell us what that paragraph is about. The topic sentence in this case would be the red one that explains to us what that whole paragraph is going to be about. So well done. Thank you for joining in. There'll be some more. So creating paragraphs. As we have seen with a lot of text studied, many transactional forms of writing are structured through a set of linked paragraphs. A paragraph is a single block of text made of 1 or more sentences in which a single idea or argument is explored. Paragraphs are separated from each other, and this break in the script not only makes it much easier for the reader to look at the text, but it also allows the author to organise and separate their ideas into clearly defined chunks. Here is a piece taken from that article we've just looked at called Why Lord of the Flies is a Perfect Christmas Gift for 2016. The left column has the sentences all together in one long paragraph, and the right-hand column shows the same words and sentences split into 2 paragraphs, as you'll find it in the original article. Hopefully you'll agree that the article on the right in purple text seems much easier and more appealing to read. It also makes more sense as the first paragraph talks about the plot of the book and the second paragraph moves on to mention how the context of the book relates to 2016, thus introducing the overarching idea of the article as presented in the title. Paragraphs can be separated by indentations, which means a new line is taken and the following sentence begins slightly in from the margin, which is done by pressing the tab button on your keyboard. This format can be seen on this made-up passage here on the left. This is the standard format for essays and may be optional for other forms of writing such as letters. The other way of separating paragraphs can be seen here on the right by missing a whole line. Taking a full line length space between paragraphs makes a piece much easier to view and read, and as such is often found in articles. Neither of these is right or wrong, but instead you would choose the one suited to your audience and purpose best. In this slide, we can see paragraphs 4 and 5 of the article we have been discussing on Lord of the Flies. In paragraph 4, the author is talking about the idea of savagery and that this exists in every person, not just one race or nationality. The paragraph concludes with, it encourages us to reflect on how far-right extremism has crept back into mainstream politics throughout Europe and America. He starts the next paragraph with the topic sentence, the far-right traffics in populist language, from national allegiance to legitimate racism. As you can see, the linking idea between these 2 sentences is the far right. However, while paragraph 4 was talking about this in regards to the book, paragraph 5 moves on to the view of the book representing the politics of the world right now. Therefore, each paragraph talks of a separate idea, which is neatly contained within that paragraph, but the closing and opening sentences of each links the two ideas through the thread which they are connected. When writing your own essays, try and ensure you do this too. Firstly, that you contain each paragraph to just one idea, but that secondly, you have a flow between paragraphs and they aren't completely separate issues just sitting unconnected next to each other. So when connecting our paragraphs, it's useful to know certain words which can start them off and join our ideas together. You don't have to use these, as you can see in the previous examples, they haven't. But these are words that are often used to join ideas together or to oppose ideas, which might be helpful for you to learn. Some words allow you to carry on with your current ideas when you might need a new paragraph but are continuing along the same lines. These are words that add to an idea. On the other hand, there are words which are used when you're going to disagree with something you just said or show an alternative side. These are words which oppose an idea. So I'm going to show you a word now and you are going to tell me if that adds to an idea, if the next paragraph will add on to what you've just said, or if it opposes an idea, if the next paragraph is just going to disagree with what you just said. And our first one here is furthermore. I really like this word. I'm going to add the poll for you now. This is a great word to use. So let me launch this. Furthermore, if you use that in an essay to start off a paragraph, would that be adding to an idea or would it be opposing an idea? Oh, they are flying in. Thank you very much for the voters. 5 votes. Thank you very much. 6 votes. Anybody else want to give it a go? 7. Thank you very much. 7 votes and 8. Oh, you're super. Thank you so much. Let me share this one with you. 6 of you said that furthermore adds to an idea. 2 of you said that it opposes an idea. Well, the majority were right here. Furthermore adds. So you would give an idea and then you would say furthermore and you would add on to that idea. You would say more about it. And it's a brilliant word for connecting 2 paragraphs. It shows that you're still talking about the same general line, but that this is a new idea. It needs a new paragraph. Well done. Let's give you another one. Conversely. What about conversely? Would conversely add to an idea or would that be opposing the idea? 3 votes in. Are you all thinking about this one? Oh, 5. Thank you very much. 6 of you. Does that last one want to give a go? Yay. Thank you very much. Thank you. Let me share the results with you. 3 of you said conversely adds to an idea and 5 of you said it opposes an idea. The majority were right. Well done. Conversely gives an opposite idea. So you would say, I think this, and then you would say conversely, so-and-so says this, and you would give an opposite idea. You could use that when you're disagreeing with yourself, whether you don't know whether you agree fully or whether somebody else disagrees with you. Whichever way you're going, this is a different idea. This is a word that opposes an idea. Well done. You're getting the gist of this. Next word, however. I like however. I use that one a lot. However, does that add to an idea or does it oppose an idea? 5 votes. Thank you. This is a tricky one too, so don't worry about this one. This is a tricky one. Oh, 8 of you. Fantastic. Oh, there we go. Let me share the results. Even split. Wowee. 4 of you think, however, adds to an idea, and 4 of you think, however, opposes an idea. It does oppose. However means, on the other hand, or even though, if you're saying however, you're saying, although that's true, there's also this way of looking at it. So yeah, however is a brilliant linking word. Use however a lot. Next one. Moreover. What about moreover? Does that add or does that oppose? 3 of you have voted. Thank you. People thinking about this one now. 6, 7 of you. Thank you. What about that last one? Are we having it? Yay. Thank you very much. Let me share the results. 7 of you thought moreover added to an idea. 1 of you thinks it opposed an idea. Moreover adds. Yeah, you're saying moreover. So on top of that, also, yeah, moreover is just another way of saying, instead of having also all the way through your essay, these words are a brilliant way of just adding another idea in and giving it a bit posher of a word. So thank you very much. Let me do the next one for you. Similarly. Does similarly add to an idea or does it oppose an idea? 5 votes. 6. 7. Thank you so much. Thank you for joining in. Are we going to have yay, number 8. Thank you very much. Let me share the results. 5 of you think similarly adds to an idea, and 3 of you thinks it opposes an idea. It's still quite even, this. Similarly adds to an idea. Similarly, you're saying that this idea is similar to that one. So I think X, and similarly, I think Y. So well done, yeah. Last one, nevertheless. This is a good word too, nevertheless. Sounds posh, I like it. Always good in an essay. 3 of you, thank you. 5. 7, last one. No, okay, let me share you the results of this 7. 2 of you think nevertheless adds, and 5 of you think it opposes. Well done, the majority nevertheless opposes. Yes, you would say, I think X, nevertheless, Y is also true. It just means an opposition to what you were saying before. Yeah, well done. Thank you for joining in. So structuring argument. So we've looked at some techniques here to help you write a good piece of transactional writing. But now let's look at putting them all together and structuring our argument. A great way to do this is by creating a plan at the start to allow you to see what you need to write, in what order, and can even tick off the sections as you move through. When writing an essay, students often forget that they are meant to have one overarching idea or argument throughout their essay, and it's really easy to go off on a tangent. If you've had tuition with me, you'll know I always say constantly refer back to the question. It's all too easy to start off talking about racist language and then find yourself discussing the recent racist attack in the newspapers or what the police are doing about it, but forgetting that the original question was specifically about Lord of the Flies. Always make sure you reread the essay question or your essay title. And by making a plan such as the one we're about to go through, you can ensure you stay on track. In an article, you can use your title to introduce your overarching argument, such as Whittle did here with why Lord of the Flies is the perfect Christmas gift for 2016. In an essay or exam question, you are unable to do this, and so your overarching idea needs to be conveyed instead in your introduction. After giving his overarching argument, Whittle then gives us a short plot summary of the book, contained in 2 paragraphs. This is followed by a 1-paragraph explanation of the context. Note that both the summary and the context here are exclusively about his overall argument, and anything that doesn't relate to this has been eliminated at this point. There is not enough room or time here to go over the whole plot of the book, neither is it necessary. Stick to what your argument is about. The next 8 paragraphs then contain the bulk of the article, with evidence given for Whittle's argument, which we'll go over in a second. This is the main body of the essay or article, with those separate ideas contained in paragraphs that link together. Firstly, we have a single paragraph conclusion. In this, Whittle reaffirms his original overarching argument he made in his title, reminding readers what his aim was and leaving us with that lasting impression. So let's take a look at Whittle's 8 paragraphs that he used for his evidence and how those ideas link together. Firstly, a paragraph on the racialized language of the tribal savagery. This language links to the idea of populist language of the far right. From this, Whittle talks about Jack's language in the book, which is similar to that of the far right. He then contrasts Jack's language with Piggy and Simon's in the next paragraph, moving away from talking about the far right, but moving with the theme of the characters. This then moves to talking about the death of those 2 characters in the 5th paragraph. The demise of the characters leads well to the quote about universal savagery, which then leads to the idea of a glimmer of hope, which is the overarching moral of the story. As you can see, this clever segue between each separate idea means a flowing and fluid transition between very different ideas and a pleasant read for the reader. This plan would help to write that, although it is unlikely you'd be able to say how many paragraphs you needed for the bulk of the article before you started writing it. But by all means, in your exams, feel free to write a plan like this. It's always worth taking 5 minutes of your time to make a plan, so you save time as you work through your answer, and you give a much more structured answer to the examiner. Draw a box around the plan in your exam, so when marking it isn't mistaken as part of your answer, and then strike a cross through it when you've finished. But it is absolutely allowed and encouraged to write yourself a plan like this if you find it helpful. When structuring your argument, always remember your audience and purpose. Is this an article needing a title and a full-length line gaps between paragraphs? Is it an essay needing indentations and an introduction? Constantly refer back to your overarching argument. Don't go off track and stop answering the original question. Make sure you stay within your own argument and turn yourself around if you find you're moving away from this. Keep one idea per paragraph. If you're talking about something new, make a new paragraph. Try to put a topic sentence at the start of each paragraph. This will help the reader keep up with your ideas, but it also keeps yourself on track, reminding yourself what you're about to write in this particular paragraph. Your conclusion should agree with your overall original statement. If by the end of your essay or article you find you don't agree with your original argument any longer, then you've gone off track and you need to get back on track or change your original argument. This can happen in questions such as, how much do you agree with this statement? When you might have thought you really agreed at first, but by the end you find you don't at all. So this is where making a plan and thinking your answer through first really can help you work out what you actually do think about your own argument. Remember to use a dramatic, memorable and informative opening and closing line. Sending the message quickly and staying in the reader's mind is always going to be positive. So what have we learned in this lesson? We have learned that an opening sentence should grab the reader's attention, that a closing sentence should be memorable, that a topic sentence introduces the topic discussed in that paragraph, that a new paragraph is taken by indenting or leaving a blank line, that paragraphs are a structural tool for organising your ideas, that connecting paragraphs improves the overall structure of your work, and helpful phrases to signal when a paragraph is similar to or contrasts with the previous paragraph. Thank you very much for coming to lesson 4. I hope you found that helpful. I would love to hear what you thought, any feedback, any questions. We are here for that. So thank you very much. Thank you for coming. And that is a picture from Lord of the Flies of a pig's head. Hope that got through. I hope the context came through with that horrific picture. Thank you.